Now here, to ensure the continuity of business, organization may establish alternate sites or backup centers, you can say. Now, for example, I would like to give you a financial institution might have a secondary office in a geographical separate location to ensure the availability of banking services in case of regional disaster. In some banks, they do have such type of alternate facilities. And the next key component is your employee training awareness. Fire drill. We are being taught, we are being trained how to handle the fire equipments, those cylinders. The employee should be available, at least to have a basic awareness of these type of disaster. Now, employees should be aware of their roles and responsibility during the disaster. This includes your evacuation procedures, communication protocols, and using alternative tools or systems if the primary ones are unavailable. Here in our workplace, we have at time of disaster, we have a meeting place or gathering place we have. So if there is a fire in any of the floors in a building, the whole building should be vacated and the employee should be there in a one single place. That this employee should be aware that there is a one single place been allocated at the time of disaster. The next is your communication planning, a proper communication. A robust communication plan should be kept in place. And all these documents make it should be available to the employees. Now, this could involve using of various communication channels such as emails, your mobile number, or your email, or anything which where you can communicate with your team members, with your top management, or with your stakeholders. There is a communication. There should be a communication plan in place at the time of disaster. We have a regular testing and exercises. Have a proper regular testing room. That companies regularly, I would say, conduct drills, fire drills, which we call, and simulation exercise to test the effectiveness of their continuity plan. In your workplace or in your organization, do you have such type of drills in place? Here, this drills, this training awareness ensures that employees are familiar with emergency procedures and that the system and processes functions as intended. Do you have such type of drills in the organization? Awareness drills. If not, please try to implement such drills. Fire drills, for example. Do you have in your organization, in your workplace? Yes, Dapton?
Uh, Dr. Yatin, I think just for clarity, first, I think I will say we normally have ERP, which is now Emergency Response Preparedness Plan. This one is to deal with the emergency. And then now BCP, this is now the Business Continuity Plan. And I think we will find there's a lot of confusion between the ERP and BCP. BCP is more after the incident. Now, how do you continue to operate with the minimal staff or available things that are still operational?
Okay. Your voice is getting cut. Can you please reframe your sentence, Captain? Hello.
Hello.
Captain?
I'm saying hello.
Yeah, yeah, I'm able to hear now.
Am
Yes,
I?
Captain. Tell me.
Okay. First of all, the clarity at first, I'll say there is ERP, which is the emergency response preparedness. This is
Emergency
now
response.
responding to the emergency.
It's a document. Emergency response preparedness in certain organization. It is a document. Yes. Carry on.
Yes, and then for us, like now for BCP, we also have now scenarios. We have the templates. Now we have created the scenarios. You can say either power failure, cyber attack, a lot of scenarios. You create a lot of scenarios. Some of them could be natural disasters like the COVID pandemic, all those included in a template, so that in case that scenario is activated, you just pull out that template and refer to the things that you had discussed as maybe the management, and came up with the best solutions to it.
Absolutely. I think so. Your organization, Dafton, is very systematic. It's very professional, I would say. Am I right, Dafton? From your inputs, I can foresee that your organization is very systematic. It's a process-oriented organization. Am I right?
Yes, it's a process-oriented organization. Yes.
Yes, thank you. So let us proceed now. So these were certain key components. It's a continuation supply chain management. Now, what exactly you mean by supply chain management? Basically, supply chain management is your companies assess and address vulnerabilities in their supply chains. For example, a manufacturing company may diversify suppliers or maintain a strategic inventory buffer to mitigate the impact of supply chain disruptions. Cyber security measures. This is what Dr. also said is cyber security, cyber attack measures. With increasing threat of cyber attacks, organization implement cybersecurity measures to protect critical data and systems as well. Now, this may include regular system updates, employee training on cybersecurity, best practices, and the use of advanced security technologies. Most important, I would say, as cybersecurity measures. Insurance and financial preparedness, as always. Organizations secure appropriate insurance coverage to mitigate financial losses resulting from a disaster. Now, this could include business interruptions insurance, property insurance as well. The next is your post-incident review and continuous improvement. Now, after a disaster or exercise, organization conducts a post-incident review to identify the areas of improvement, what went wrong, what were the lessons learned. The feedback loop is crucial for refining and I would say refining and updating the business continuity plan to address emerging risk and challenges. To conclude with this continuity of business in disaster management involves a holistic approach that encompasses risk assessment, planning, communication, testing, ongoing process improvement. Now, I would say that by implementing a robust business continuity strategy, organization can enhance their resilience and reduce the impact of disruptions on crucial business functions as well. So here we are talking about the concept of continuity of business. Now, what are the categories? Pre-disaster management, management during disaster, and post-disaster. Now, here in this case, pre-disaster, it is related to any possible disaster that arises. The most important purpose of this is to mitigate human loss. This also includes the development of information technology systems, mobilization of resources for necessary actions, assessment of disaster, and issuance of a warning, and to the people through medias. Pre-disaster. The next is your management during disaster. This is one of the most important phase, which depends on the level of pre-disaster management phase. Now, the process of quick action, quick decision making, and the help the victims of the disaster prone areas, transporting them to safe place are the base of this. In this food, necessities such as food, clothing, and health facilities are also provided to the people in case of the management during disaster. Post-disaster management, reconstruction. Now, in this phase, redevelopment and reconstruction of affected areas are done on the priority basis. Now, here also, the administration is bound to help affected people by providing them with employment or any other compensation. So we have pre-disaster management, management during disaster, and your post-disaster management. Pre-disaster management is a preparedness. Management during the disaster is helping the community or the help to the victims of the disaster prone areas, and post disaster is your redevelopment and reconstruction. Going forward now, we require certain documents required for disaster preparedness. Why you require document? Is it really necessary to prepare documents for disaster management? Is it necessary? I have prepared everything. At the time of disaster, I have done all my activities. I was prepared for this. At the time of disaster, continuity of business, everything was done as per plan. Why I should require the documents now? Documents, documents, and documents. Project managers don't like documentation. This is a fact. But still, we cannot escape from this. Yes, please, I'm giving only 1 minute. Documents are necessary to keep track and stay on course. Absolutely, yes, they are necessary. Shaban is typing something. Anyone, please? Okay, we'll proceed. Documents play a crucial role in ensuring that a project is well prepared to handle unexpected events and emergencies, especially when there is a complex project. Now, these documents help in planning, response, recovery, and mitigation efforts. Now, let us talk about what are the different types of documents we require. Is your risk management plan. Now, management plan is your identifies potential risk and outlines strategies to manage and mitigate them. Okay, risk identification and assessment, risk response strategies, risk monitoring and control measures can be the contents of risk management plan. Business impact analysis assesses the potential impact of disaster on the project critical functions. Identification of critical functions, assessment of potential consequences of disruptions. The next is your business continuity plan. Continuity plan. Here, this document provides a roadmap for maintaining critical business functions during and after the disaster. You can say BCP and contain a communication plan. BCP can have your roles and responsibilities. BCP can have your alternate facilities and resources as well. Then your emergency response plan outlines the procedure for responding to emergencies and disaster. Crisis communication plan. At the time of crisis, it should define how information will communicate during and after the disaster, to whom to communicate. It should be from top-down approach, crisis communication plan. Then the insurance document, most important, different types of document. Insurance, which company is this insurance document? Outline the project insurance coverage for potential losses. Details of the policy and contract mission. Then you have lessons learned report. Conclusion summarizes the experience and insights gained from previous incidents and exercise. Then there can be n number of documents. You can say, I would like to add upon saying that about training and awareness material. Documentation for regulatory compliance, that can be also there. So here we can have n number of documents, and well, it depends upon the organization to organization. Some organization has only one document, disaster management document, wherein all these modules or elements or these can be combined. Risk management plan, BIA, BCP, emergency response, communication plan can be clubbed into one single document, and it has to be approved by the stakeholders and the top management as well. Make sure that you get an approval from the relevant stakeholders. So these are certain documents required for disaster preparedness. It can differ from organization to some with different terminologies as well.